Can y'all see me right now? Yeah, you can see me. Okay. It's weird. Trying to pull up the live chat here. All right. You can see me. Gotta shut off my microphone on the, not microphone. If I shut off my microphone, you guys couldn't hear me, silly Jake. No, I'm talking about shutting off my phone audio here so I can tune into the chat. Let me know who's in the chat. I have an idea. It might be balloons. Not a betting man, but if I had to put a substantial amount of money down on anyone being in this chat right now, it would probably be balloons. We got a lot to get into today. I'm planning on maybe doing like an hour 30 stream. I don't know if this hat really suits me, I gotta be honest. Thought it looked a lot better than it actually did. It's looking a little bit busted. My hair's, I'm having a bad hair day, man. Look at that. Look at all that hair. So let me go grab a hat. I'll be right back. You guys know about that, man? What do you guys know about that? Been staying in the gym, man. All right. Our main topic today, obviously, is going to be McGregor. Let me put down my mic a little bit. Main topic today is going to be McGregor. Obviously, going back and forth with True Geordie. We can talk about that, and we can get into whatever you guys, whatever other stuff you guys want to get me into. We can do whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Why don't we start off with a little bit of a recap. There's only one person live right now. Maybe there'll be a few more that trickle in. But for those that don't know that are watching in post, to give you context, True Geordie and McGregor have been going back and forth. True Geordie makes a bunch of videos. That's kind of his meta now. He makes videos about athletes. He retooled his second channel into more of a combat sports. God damn, man. He retooled his second channel into more of a combat sports type of environment thing. And so now he makes videos about Tyson Fury, about boxing, MMA, all that good stuff. And he took a shot at McGregor. It was a video in which he kind of accused Gregor, I guess, of being on the dust. Although everyone already kind of knew that. I don't know if he thought that he was doing this due diligence, like type service to the people by being like, oh yeah, McGregor slurs his words. I, for one, didn't really see the need for the video. Like everyone that knows about McGregor kind of knows that he's been on the, recently. Nobody's going to be like, what? You know what I'm saying? No McGregor fans can look at that video and be like, I didn't know about this. What's going on? If you would spend any amount of time, just look up McGregor on Twitter. There's even, I follow this, this TikTok account that's McGregor's voice notes. And I can actually, hold on, let me see if I can find it here. And it's just all dedicated to McGregor's voice notes and general escapades, on Twitter. Hold on. Okay. TikTok's not going to maybe tune in. Literally, there is an entire page dedicated to this stuff. So I feel like Geordie kind of knew what he was doing there by making a video about McGregor. Obviously, it brings in the views, it pulls it in, especially now with the controversy. I think his video is sitting somewhere in the realm of about, I have to check now. I don't know why I'm talking about it. I could just check it. True Geordie. I want to see how the first video did and then the return video, the response video. Response video is sitting at 302K. And then let's see. Where is, it's on his second channel. Okay, the pain game. So then that's going to be, McGregor's YouTube, does McGregor have a problem? That's sitting at 347K. So he knew those videos were going to do numbers. He also covered the McGregor Forever documentary. And now he's doing another McGregor video. So obviously it's because he knows the power that uttering McGregor's name on a video holds. I mean, that's no secret to anyone. So that's why I kind of felt like the video was a little bit almost pointless in practice. It's like, why also now? I mean, he's been doing this stuff for years. I feel like I'm not going to be able to give a reliable timetable for how long McGregor's been on the dust, but I feel like a good estimation would be probably starting from the point where he threw a dolly at a bus window. I feel like that's I've never done dust. The only thing I've done is smoked weed, but I feel like that's something that you would do if you were on, you know what I'm saying? Some sniffy. You don't just like throw a dolly at a bus window regularly. That's not like a baseline activity. So there's a very good chance he's probably been on this for a while. And I will say, while I don't see the point in True Geordie's video, I can also understand that McGregor is not the guy he once was. But I think like if True Geordie, and we're going to walk step by step through this back and forth beef. I think if True Geordie had kind of put a different spin on the video in practice and highlighted maybe how, because it would be an interesting comparison to see, maybe you've themed the video around McGregor's vocal patterns. Because he does. I mean, he is not the engaging speaker that he once was. He has the same passion there, but there's also, it's clear that whatever concoction, whatever chemical cocktail of drugs he's been taking is clearly done a number on his system there, because he's not the guy he once was. But I think that would be, my point is, I think that would be a much more engaging and interesting video if you want to do something like that, you know, instead of saying, oh, look at this guy, maybe he's on drugs. Like there's about an 85% chance that he's on drugs. And I think if you asked, like if you polled, I don't know, a certain amount, let's just say UFC fans across America, let's just start out with that. Maybe even if you want to do Canada, I'm sure, I don't know, a good like 70, upwards of 70% people would probably say, yeah, this guy's clearly on something. Because that's also the lifestyle I feel like that's the lifestyle kind of provides that, is what I'm trying to say. Right? So the math is mathing. It adds up. I just felt like True Geordie making that video, at least in the frame that it was put in, doesn't hold much value. I'm a big believer in, like, whenever I try to make a video, I'll say, for instance, with this most recent one, AJ, right? Anthony Joshua, his last boxing match out. I took a look at the highlights and I kind of just used that as a reference point to ask the question, how would he do against Tyson Fury if they can get that fight made, right? The purpose of that video was to look back, to entertain people with a nice breakdown, because I feel like a lot of people like the breakdowns I do on my channel for some reason. Do a breakdown, and then use that to get people's minds jogging about what he might look like against a guy in Tyson Fury that's so fast, that's so technical and tactical with the way that he strikes, and is so good with his counters. I just feel like with this video, and people will be able to tell, I don't know how many content creators are watching this in post, are going to be watching this live, if there's going to be any more trickle in, but like, you can kind of, I feel like people can kind of tell, the fans can kind of tell when a video is more so centered around just getting eyes on yourself or views, right? And that's what this kind of felt like. So yeah, I see some of the inherent value, but I just felt like if he had never made that video, not to say that well, actually, yeah, the world probably wouldn't be missing anything, right? And I could look at some of True Geordie's other videos. Actually, I can have it up here in a second. Take a look at some of his other videos. Like, I like the documentary review, just because I like True Geordie in that I like to hear what he has to say about things. The Misfits reaction, that holds inherent value. The predictions from Misfits, that holds inherent value. The biggest star in YouTube boxing, that's cool because it's kind of like a list type of vibe. Did Ryan quit? That asks a question. You know, Joe speeds up footage, that's covering a controversy. With this, you know, it's kind of just pointing out the fact that Conor was probably, in an interview with Ariel Helwani, probably, I mean, just blitzed out of his mind and answering questions in a really weird and incoherent manner. Now, it was jarring to see, but anyone, that's what I'm trying, you know what, that's why, and I can surmise it well, and then we'll move on in a second. I can surmise it well with this sentence right here. Everyone can see what True Geordie was pointing out in that video. That's why I don't think it holds the inherent value that he maybe hoped it did, right? Because you take one look at that interview and you know what? Why don't I'll just play that real quick. And then we'll go over to Conor's response. Gregor interview. Because his response was absolutely hilarious. So Conor's there. He's promoting, I guess, is it the Katie Taylor fight? Yeah. So they're at McGregor's pub in Ireland, Dublin. And this is the sit down. I'm only going to play a little bit from this.
Conor.
Ariel. What's up, my man? Great to have you here at the Blackboard Gym. The world's most famous pub.
Yes. What an honor. Honestly, no BS.
Yeah.
I'm not being paid to say this.
Yeah.
I am impressed.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. A lot of work went into it. A lot of work goes into it continuous. You know, I steer the ship. I own it, I run it, I walk it, I talk it. You know what I mean? So a lot goes into this. The staff behind me with that work alongside me with it have made this into something special. It's at a unique place here in Dublin 12. We've got so many great things, and I'm happy and honoured that you're here. It's great to have you here.
It's my honor.
And you're looking, mate, you know, so I'm not happy with that other one. It's all good. I know it's a joke.
We're good.
But what you think?
I was going to come because you came to me.
I mean, off the bat, not really too bad, but I just know that there are some points. Maybe we can scroll ahead here.
I think it's all sweet with Katie Taylor. That girl will take your teeth. She'll take your teeth. It ain't sweet with Katie, she'll take your teeth, and that's the truth.
She's on. With her.
I've never trained with her now.
Wow.
First time I ever saw her live was, what?
Tell me.
It was on Eddie. Where was it? It was after. Where was he fighting? I think he's in New York or somewhere. It was one of the foreign. She was abroad anyway. Obviously, because she never fought at home.
See, like that right there, right? It's just like you could clearly tell he's like speeding up. He's looking all over the place. You can tell just from looking at a cursory glance, even when he was kind of stringing his sentences together a little bit better, that there was something up with that guy. You know? But then Conor McGregor, we'll move on now. I apologize for the sniffles. I'm just getting over a cold. Conor McGregor responds in hilarious fashion. I swear that McGregor on Twitter voice notes gets like, he's like a comedian. It's very, very funny to listen to. Here
Mr. Estrogen, what's happening? Bitch tits. Fat fucking bitch tits. Who the fuck are you? You little Burns victim looking thing. Fuck me, man. Who scalded you with a kettle? You fat fuck. You fat nobody. You little feminine pussy of a thing. I fuck pussy, yeah? Keep my name out of your mouth, you stupid cunt. Sick of seeing your fat bone face. Scaldy, fat, estrogen head. Oh my God, you can't understand what I'm saying, can you not, pal? You've got subtitles under the fucking thing saying exactly what I'm saying. So what are you saying?
That's my favorite part.
Fat no-name.
That's my favorite part, when he's like, you got subtitles under the fucking thing saying exactly what I'm saying. So what are you saying? So McGregor releases that response. True Geordie, being the content creator that he is, goes in, does a response video. Response video is like 10 minutes where he actually challenges McGregor to a fight, which I guess we could talk to because that's never, ever going to happen. And if True Geordie thinks that's actually going to happen, he's got another thing coming. Obviously, McGregor couldn't because McGregor's under contract and he's working the Ultimate Fighter at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it is yet another YouTuber and fighter beef. You know, they seem more and more common now. Like, I feel like Wade was the first instance of that in the scene, right? Where, I mean, I guess that the True Geordie, it's the same thing in that True Geordie is a YouTuber, but not exactly the same thing in that KSI is a YouTube boxer and McGregor is a former 2-weight world champion in the UFC. But it is in its own kind of genre that got kicked off, I feel like, by the Wade controversy, where athletes are going, or maybe you could also argue that was MMA Guru. MMA Guru kind of got that kicking, where YouTubers that cover the sport and athletes are going back and forth. I almost thought I was going to have one of those with Salt Poppy. I thought that was going to be the next step in my YouTuber journey. But weirdly enough, Salt saw the video and he approved of it. It was just his fans that didn't like that. But yeah, I mean, the next step in what has been, I feel like, a wider acceptance of YouTube within the fight sports community or the combat sports community. which is awesome to see. Because for as bad as this might look on paper, and McGregor kind of sounds like an asshole there, and you could also argue that True Geordie's in it for the attention and for the clout, and he's doing this just because, and that's what I believe, honestly, is that, I'm not going to pretend to know his numbers before he released that McGregor video, but I can't help but feel like probably part of the decision of making all of these videos was to get his numbers up. You could make a critique right there. It is still good for the scene in that it gets guys like me talking, it gets the everyday person talking, and then a UFC fan that maybe just watches the television programs, maybe just watches the broadcasts, might tune into some of these YouTubers, might tune into a True Geordie, and there's more interactivity between the two spaces. So that's like kind of a neat little positive that I think will probably come of this. Because I noticed that the combat sports, I should say, scene on YouTube is limited to a few shows. You got like MMA Guru, you got Morning Combat, but that's a CBS affiliated show. So that's a little bit more. I'm talking about the self-made independent type guys, right? I'm trying to think about other sports, the equivalents of that they have in their communities. Like, Kenny from, he does basketball, but he also hosts a basketball podcast. Like stuff like that. I just feel like there are not a lot of creators that have come up from YouTube that are doing work in the UFC space. It's still very much so guys that have gone to university for that type. And obviously you should have that, right? Because you want to have a coat of professionalism, of professional paint on it. But it's also, I'd love to see, and I think the UFC has been embracing it a little bit more as well. Some of these viral kind of like influencers, like I think Nina Marie Danielle, if I'm saying her name correctly, I can look it up. Nina, she was actually a Playboy Danielle. Let me see. Yeah, she's doing stuff for the UFC. She's doing interviews. And I apologize, guys. I'm getting over a cold. On her own platform, she's interviewed a lot of fighters. And then the UFC smartly kind of leaned into that and was like, hey, let's bring you in. Let's do some fun stuff revolving around these events. So that's one really positive, as I said, side that I could see coming out from all of this. But just, I don't know, for the short term, kind of a bad taste in my mouth regarding both guys. I used to really, really look up to True Geordie, and I still do to some extent, but it does, I don't know, as of late, I think he's been doing content geared more towards getting more eyes rather than the passionate stuff that he used to be doing, And I wonder if that's inevitable in someone's content creation journey. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. Right? I'm not sure. And then for McGregor, I also feel like it's kind of like you're a professional athlete. I know he constantly responds to people, probably again, funnily enough, when he's off the dust, with all these voice notes and these tweets and all of these things. He goes back and forth with people. It's whatever. But, I mean, he doesn't really need to. I hate this. This is going to sound so cliche and ironic when I say this, but he does have millions probably of dollars. Right? I mean, even more, hundreds of millions maybe. I mean, I'm not sure how much exactly because he hasn't fought in a minute. But I'd imagine he's getting residuals from his other projects. So the point is, McGregor is well off and fine. Does he really need to go back and forth with True Geordie, a guy that's, and I'm never going to say someone's value is estimated off of how much money they have, but like the point is that True Geordie has a significantly smaller platform than that of a McGregor. My whole thing is like McGregor doesn't need to do all that. He doesn't need to be going back and forth with True Geordie constantly. He doesn't need to go back and forth with whoever else, It's different when there's guys in the UFC, he's having his beefs with Artem Lodov and he's having his beefs with Khabib. Like that's different, right? Because they're guys that have been in the UFC or are currently in the UFC. It makes more sense. To be beefing with a YouTuber, though, I just feel like how much of that is a distraction? And listen, if he's on drugs, I mean, it's his life. He could do what he wants. I think it's more of a damning evidence type of thing that he did respond rather than just letting it go, going out, getting on the defensive, kind of trying to offend True Geordie as much as he could. That kind of keyed me into the fact that he is most likely on most of the stuff that Geordie called him on. Which, again, I don't know much about drugs, but I feel like cocaine is, it's pretty typically a party drug. I don't know if you can get addicted that easily to cocaine. I don't know. I know it's not on the level of like a heroin or something like that, or I don't know, meth, right? Like one of these really serious drugs that wipes out communities and, like crack. There was a crack epidemic for a while. I don't think if McGregor's doing cocaine, if he's going to be, it might affect his fighting career. If you want to have that conversation again, True Geordie could do a video about that, right? He could open up the dialogue and be like, okay, this is what I noticed about McGregor's vocal patterns. This is why I think it's going to affect this is what I think he's doing. And this is why I think his cocaine use, let's just say, is going to affect his fighting career. Again, much more interesting video, a video that holds much more inherent value than just saying, look at McGregor, he's talking weird. At least that's what I think. I don't know. Again, it's True Geordie, so I'll watch him. I've been a big fan of his ever since I got into this whole content creation thing, about 4 years now. I've been a fan from, I can't remember when the last time, when was the first time, I should say, that I watched him. I used to watch when he had a podcast set, was in a bomb shelter. That's how long I've been watching him for. But yeah, I'm not going to say I lost a little bit of respect for him, but I do kind of look at him now as a guy that might be willing to do anything to get some views. And I also understand that his career as of late has been a little bit rocky with some controversies he's had, but that's just the read I got. That's the vibe I got. But it's also funny because, what do I know? I'm just sitting here. I've never talked to the guy. I've never met the guy. You guys like to listen to me chat, so I feel obligated to talk about these things. Straight like that. But yeah, hilarious beef for what it was worth. Both guys kind of acting a little bit goofy. True Geordie calling McGregor out to fight. He might be able to get him off of physicality, but if McGregor lands one shot, it's pretty much over, especially with his beefed up frame now. But just goofy on both sides. What else do we want to talk about? Let's pivot, because I think we spent 25 minutes talking about this now. Let me see. Yeah, just about 22 minutes. Oh, no, 24 minutes. Let me see. Interesting. It says 24, but on the phone it says 22. That's weird. What else do we want to talk about? Yeah, the upcoming UFC event. Kind of did Canada dirty with the main event. Aldana's better than, I think they're going to have Pena and Nunes 3. What's up, Blues? I got you with that recording after the stream, my guy. UFC 289. Show this on stream. Blues, what else? What else you want me to talk about? Whoopsie. Sorry about that. For now, check out UFC 289. I believe, where is this in Canada? Vancouver. Okay. Canada's got the wildfires. Dude, the air outside of my house right now is just smog filled. Can't even really go outside. A lot of fun fights, though. Eric Anders, Dan Ige, Nate Landwehr, Mike Mallet, knocked out friend of the show, unfortunately, Mickey Gall. I was so sad to see that, dude, because Mickey Gall is such a good dude. Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush. That's going to be a really fun one. I hope Beneil, I'm a fan of both guys, and I really do want to see Charlie Olives back at the top of the division again and holding the belt, just because he was such a charismatic champion. Like, it seemed like he got all of this confidence out of nowhere, and then boom, just exploded into the championship scene. But I just have a lot of love for Beneil, and I wouldn't mind. I feel like the UFC probably wouldn't want him to be a champion, right? Because let's face it, for as cool as Beneil Dariush is, does he have that much marketability outside of the octagon? I don't believe so. I think he puts on really, really fun fights inside the octagon. I think that's one thing. Like, if he's champion, his pay-per-views probably won't do too well, but if you put him at the co-main, or even if you want to have like a 3 championship type card, like they always do at NYC, when they come to NYC, I should say, I feel like he'd put on some bangers. Because he always does, dude. I mean, he's had some iconic moments. Matter of fact, we got to watch the, hold on, let me pull up the Beneil Dariush and one mixtape real quick. Beneil Dariush highlights. You put anyone that doesn't know about my boy Benny Dariush, let me put you on a game. Hold on one sec. All right, here we go. That was Jakar Close. That was so cool. All right. Yeah, that was, I mean, just off the bat.
He's going to get out. They're going to lock it down and choke him
A dynamic guy, too. He hits like a truck. Shout out to Ultimate MMA, by the way. Yeah, this is, so he's fighting Jakar Close. I watched this live. Close hits him with a bomb. Because I think one of Close's leg kicks had kind of chopped down the mobility of Dariush. Close hits him with a bomb, and Dariush is. I'll let the. I'm not going to spoil. I'll let the.
moving that well.
Right there, boom. Dariush kind of hurt. He's moving backwards.
Oh my goodness, you're close to trying to close the show. Crowd senses something could climb.
Hits him with an overhand. Moves forward. Close tries to take a breath. Another overhand finishes it. Oh. As an up-and-coming commentator, that is a fight that I practice with often. That's a fight. That's like a dream commentary fight for me. To have something like that happen. Insane stuff. But I'll keep playing it. Sorry.
Now here, Jakar clips him here, hurts him. Beneil closes in on him, hits him. Jakar, bang! Oh. That's the big one. Snaps the head back. Bang! He hits him again. Beneil's in real trouble here. Jakar's
I don't know how else to describe it. Benny Dariush just got that dog in him.
Oh, chicken dance.
All right, hold on. Let me. Dariush versus Holtzman.
What happened there?
I think this is. Yeah, he just swarms him. There's one spinning back fist in here too. I don't know if this is it. This might be it. This is it. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I always wince a little bit when I see that. Oh. Damn, man.
5 straight in the win column and another one with an exclamation point. And then we're going to listen.
That's just insane.
It was devastating.
Feints the jab, just comes back.
It wasn't even, it was like
forearm to the dome.
Let's take a look at one more time. It looked like it was going to become a spinning back
Boom.
fist, which it was.
So, I mean, listen, I don't have to keep going. You guys kind of get the idea for what I'm talking about here. I think inside the octagon, he'd be a big draw. And maybe, you know what? Maybe making it to the championship and having one of those. Because, like, you know, I think about Oliveira. Went in hard. I know, yeah, I'm getting over a cold, man. It's cold. This cold attacked me big time and then left as soon as it came in. What was I going to say? Dude, hit him that hard. It hit you just by watching. I did, yeah. I got a cough because I felt like the force of the impact. That's why I went that way. Yeah, maybe it would take him because that's kind of, I feel like what happened with Oliveira is he had to make it to that upper echelon, the championship level, and string some professional, or some impressive performances together. Once he gets to the championship, he had that gigantic, massively hyped fight with, who was it? Michael Chandler. He had that really, really hyped fight with Michael Chandler, put on an absolutely crazy performance, and then that's when people started putting more respect on his name. So maybe if Oliveira and Dariush go after it, Dariush gets the finish there, that could have that same kind of effect where Dariush is all of a sudden put more so, because he deserves it, man. You know, I never want to give someone a title shot just because they're a good guy. I mean, Dariush does seem like a really, really genuinely good guy. Like, you watch interviews of him, he seems really, really cool, really fun, interesting to listen to. But it's also for his fighting ability, man. I kind of don't understand why. I think the only reason he's not more of a draw is just because he's not with a lot of the building up a fight and talking shit. You know, he's much more kind of under the radar in a sense. But I think if he really, really puts on a fantastic performance, it could be one of those things. Because, like, Oliveira doesn't even speak English. And people still rallied around him. I still want to see him go back and challenge for the championship. So, very well. I'm not putting it out of the realm of possibility that Beneil goes back in there and reclaims the... oh, no, excuse me. Did I say Beneil? I'm not putting it past either of them to kind of turn their careers around in a big way. And then what else we got? I believe that was a co-main, right? Yeah, and then for the main, Amanda Nunes, Irene Aldana. Fun. Amanda Nunes, always a fun champion. Is always, I mean, never really like in a boring fight either. I feel like, you know, never in a boring fight. She's always going to show out. Her last fight, oh my God, did she absolutely flatline Juliana Pena? That's what they were trying to do, Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes 3. And the people of Canada were like, go fuck yourself if you're going to make that fight, dude. We're not going to buy it. And so then they changed it around. Because honestly, I couldn't, no offense to Juliana Pena, but like Amanda Nunes would have been the only reason I watched that fight. I'm not even a guy that's like, I'm not going to watch women's MMA because I enjoy some of the upper echelon of or I should say watching the upper echelon of the women's divisions in MMA. Like Rose Namajunas, of course, Amanda Nunes. Then you got Caitlin Kahuchigan. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But just tons. I mean, Holly Holm, she's always fun to watch. Ronda Rousey in her prime was really fun to watch. You know? So, I just feel like it's a mid-tier card. You know what it is? I could probably see it being one of those cards where it looks kind of dog shit on... Not kind of dog shit, but like somewhat dog shit on paper. Like it's not really going to perform that well. And then it ends up just being one of the best cards of the year. Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens in the UFC. Sometimes you get a card that looks absolutely stacked to the gills, and then you realize, oh wait, this is actually terrible, and there hasn't been a finish in like 6 fights. All of them have been grinded to a decision. There's been like 5 strikes combined thrown in each fight. That's never happened before. But I'm just trying to be, overly dramatic to make a point. Essentially, I hope it's one of those sleeper cards that we talk about for the rest of the year. Like, oh, this card over, would it be? Oh yeah, overpromised. Or this card over-delivered and under-promised, rather than over-promised and under-delivered. But fun card. Let me see what are the prelims. Jeez. Imov. Okay. Imavov. Nazardine Imavov. I think that's how you say his name. He's fun. Going up against Chris Curtis. That's nice. Kyle Nelson. Blake Builder. Chris Dawkins is supposed to be fighting Khalil Roundtree. That got canceled at light heavyweight. Yeah. All right. Not bad. Kind of just like a middle-of-the-road card. Has the potential to be forgettable, I feel like. What else? What else do you guys want me to talk about? Please do let me know. There's not much in the way of influencer boxing news, I feel like, this week. Not much in the way of it at all. I don't know. I don't think there's any. I mean, I know I put it in the title. I think Bryce Hall was set to make his return. But didn't he? I think he got his ass whooped the last time he was out there. I'm fairly certain he got his ass whooped. We can check. Let's rewatch that performance real quick, and then we'll get out of here, I guess. He fought McBroom. Yeah. And then McBroom didn't pay him for fighting, which is so fucked up, to just beat up someone and then not pay them for fighting you. Let's give it a second to load. Come on. Just always takes a second. I'm just texting. Boom. Okay.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Representing TikTok, wearing red and black. Official weight, 165.
Bryce is joining back in as the game is dying out. Yeah, he needs to, but I think he needs to get his get back, He needs to get his lick back.
Million TikTok followers.
Can't go out the way he went out.
Here we go. Austin McBroom in the orange trim.
Orange fluffy
Bryce was having to lose or gain a lot of weight for the fight he got. Forgot which one it was. We could check. Actually, I'll look it up on the phone just so you guys can continue to see.
I like this stance of McBroom a little better.
Bryce Hall said he's been sparring 4 to 5 times a week. Good left hand by.
Yeah, that makes you wonder what was he doing in the lead up to this fight.
The more sparring, the better.
Now Austin's been used.
I don't think he looked bad. I think he just got kind of swallowed up by the aggression of McBroom.
Austin got in trouble.
He hasn't released it yet. Who he could be fighting.
Shot there on Bryce Hall as they broke up.
Bryce Hall's been in over.
He didn't look bad here. It's a nice check hook there.
Very interesting. So he does bring a little experience to this ring, right?
And anytime there was an influencer meetup, Bryce Hall got in a fight with another.
He doesn't look
influencer.
bad,
It
man.
happened so many times.
Why do
I
they
couldn't
remember
even
him
tell
looking
you.
bad?
Austin McBroom, a former
I mean, granted, I've only watched about a minute of this.
basketball player, said his dream was to play in the
It's not a
NBA.
bad jab. Keeps his hands up. I was going to say. When he's in open space, he keeps his hands up. I just think he has a problem with
So nice right now.
Paul immediately
when guys enter the pocket, keeping his hands up, not flailing around.
This ref is not
Shout out to the ISKA referee. Keep it in the fucking corner.
Stay composed at this time.
So
That's a nice cross right there. Hold on.
he just took a full
Composed at this time.
Perfect timing. And even, did he kind of pull the lead hand of McBroom down a little bit? I got to view this in slow motion. Turn the volume off so you don't get that annoying sound. Yeah, he did pull he pulled the lead hand down. Tried for it again. It's a nice intercepting shot by McBroom, though.
He just took a full point away from Bryce Hall.
Well, it looked like he was going in there and he's doing more of a full contact MMA type of style, right? That is not what we're doing here.
Well, that's Bryce. I mean, that's. We talk about the street fight.
Big shots from McBroom, though.
This ref could stop this fight.
I hope he does.
I think McBroom just outdogged him.
I already see blood pouring out of Bryce's nose.
Well, and Bryce looks scared, right? That's why he's tying up. He's getting hit really hard. He's scared on his hands.
Oh.
His eyes.
Yeah.
Another big left hand.
If he doesn't lift, then the ref stops him.
And guys, there's $1 million.
He didn't look bad. He didn't look bad. We'll dispel that rumor right now. He's just not a Gibb type of guy where he can, Gibb had the same problems early. McBroom is really, really a domineering type of figure in those first 1 to 2 rounds. He really starts off strong, then he kind of fades as the fight progresses. Obviously, we didn't see enough from him in that Social Gloves event, or not, excuse me, Social Gloves, Misfit. No, not Misfits, it's Kingpin. We didn't see enough from him in Kingpin because he rolled, I forget what injury it was, but he is prototypically, from everything we've seen, the type of guy to start off really, really hot and then kind of sputter as the fight goes on. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Hall just couldn't hack it. Gibb, and that should speak to how much of a fighter, a truly like a fighting spirit type of guy Gibb is. To where he would voluntarily hang in the flames with McBroom. So yeah, it's unannounced, I should say, who Bryce Hall is going to be fighting next. He could be a good pickup for Misfits. Because he's now, God, he's kind of linked in now with the TMG guys. Podcast that I like to watch a lot. TMG, so that's kind of a different audience he could be reaching. I think maybe, no, you want to stick with Wade. Well, Misfits kind of burned that bridge. I'd rather, honestly, if I'm thinking about who I'd want to commentate the next Misfits event, and this is no disrespect to Slim or Dean the Great, but I'd get those two guys out of there. Really just didn't add anything the last time out. For me personally, at least, maybe you get I know Noel Miller's really into it. He's funny. He's charismatic. He could be a guy that'd be good on the mic. Bryce versus Swarms. Not a bad fight. And a fight that I think would be more of a 50-50 than people would think. Like, Swarms didn't look bad either against Deji. So both guys are kind of in the same position. That fight would actually make a lot of sense. Both guys looked good, but kind of got dominated. for lack of a better term. So I think if you put them in there together, that's a fairly 50-50 fight, man. Are they around the same weight? Like what weight did Bryce Hall compete at? Excuse me. He's 170? Wow. Oh, but no, excuse me. Bryce Hall was 165. I was going to say, he didn't look 170. As far as on the mic is mainly to promote, set up future fights. Yeah. Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. Maybe you have like one fighter, though, and then just get a couple of people a little bit more charismatic. You know, not to say that Slim, I mean, Slim is charismatic, but it was kind of cringe. Kind of cringe, kind of annoying. To me, at least. So Bryce Hall is all the way down at 165. Let's see who influencer boxers at 160. These have the weights. What's Slim fighting at? Actually, I can let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Influencer boxing. His division is middleweight. What division is 160? I forget because there's so many different divisions in boxing. I think it's welterweight, right? Or no, middleweight. Okay, so middleweight. So Slim is the same weight. Let's go to all the middleweights here. Slim, Pulley. Not a lot of guys. Dad, who's commented on the channel before, actually, showed love on one of the videos. Could fight Dad. Dad's another good fight for him. I think Slim, actually, I don't know. I hope Bryce takes his time fighting guys he can actually beat. Jake's record didn't get changed. It didn't? Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley too. Yeah, I guess they didn't count. They didn't count the... That's weird. Maybe because they're not counting... That was considered a pro fight, right? Maybe they're not considering pro fights as part of the criteria there. This is a nice website. I'm going to start using this for videos. Unless they have... Because there might be some sort of a record mishap going on. Yeah, but wow, this is a pretty good database. Face temper. And it seems like these are strictly... I think this is strictly other influencers. So maybe they consider Tommy to be a pro by that point? I don't know, since he got ranked after the fact. All Jake's fights are pro fights, so that doesn't make any sense. It was Nick Ireland. Wasabi. What weight does Wasabi fight at? Light heavyweight. Big boy. I know there's a lot of... I mean, we talked about Bryce Hall going up in weight potentially. So super middleweight is right there. And then light heavyweight's 2 weight classes up. So who's super middleweight? DDG. You can fight DDG. Oh, but it says Bryce Hall's at super middleweight? I guess super middleweight would be 165 then. So realistically, you could fight any Churdleys. Fight DDG, Ed Matthews, Jay Swingler. If he wants to go up to light heavyweight, got Deji right there. But that's a little bit above. I feel like Deji would absolutely. He could go for face temper. Just trying to think of fights that what boxing site am I using? What's going on, Beth? Good to see you in the chat. It's called boxing.versal app. It's YouTube boxing. Let me see. Versal. And it's a list of fighters in influencer boxing. Yeah, Bryce. So at his last fight, he contested, or he contested the fight at 165. So he would be at super middleweight. So if he wants to go up, again, you have all these guys right here, which there's a lot more names, especially even Taylor Holder here, Simple Simon Simple Simon got absolutely clapped. Alex Wasabi, tons of names. I think it would 168, super middleweight is 168. Yeah, I think it would make much more sense to realistically go up to a light heavyweight for him rather than to go down to middleweight because there seems to be less names there. Unless he wants to get a fight. Oh, I think I've heard of that before. Thanks. Yeah, of course, man. Like I said, welcome to the chat. Are you subscribed? Or you just happen upon the stream? I always like to ask. But yeah, I think light heavyweight is the move. I think Landon McBroom is Austin McBroom's brother. There's a fight right there. That fight kind of writes itself. You know what I mean? Blueface. Blueface not bad. Stromedy. That's funny. Scarce was boxing? Wow. Joe Weller, Dylan Dennis. I don't even know they have Dylan Dennis up there. I don't think he's ever boxing again. Yeah. So a lot of options. A lot of options for Bryce Hall there. Without further ado, though, I think, how long have we been doing this for? Trying to keep these shorter in the interest. Yeah, maybe we'll end it off here for today. Oh, well, welcome back to the channel, my guy. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your continued support. Is there anything else? Oh, dude, by the way, if you want, I don't make any really money off of the merch, but I just like to design it. I'll show you. And this is for anyone watching in post. I have a, let me just see. I have a merch shop. I don't really make any money off of these, but sorry about that. But got a ton of different designs, all made by me that I just make for the love of designing things. And it's all kind of like references from the channel. So for anyone watching in post, go check that out. Without further ado, I've been your boy, of course, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Kruberman. I will see you probably in the next video we do. I have to record another one this week or see when I can fit one into my schedule with the new job. Without further ado, guys, thank you so much.